rounds per month. While I support this goal, as 155s have proven their value in wartime, I worry about the sustainment of production capacity once the demand and requirements for this munition decreases. We've seen this happen time and time again in the past, where we've been on this roller coaster ride where we rebuild weapons stockpiles, our batteries are then able to fire at will, and our magazines are full, but then we find ourselves in the same predicament again. So the question is how do we sustain this production? It's imperative that the Army responsibly invest in industry partners in production facilities looking at the long term. And I'm eager to hear from the witnesses on the progress of the many modernization projects across the OIB. Most Army ammunition plants and arsenals have technology and processes from World War II. With supplemental dollars in a 15-year modernization strategy with plans to invest roughly $18 billion across the organic industrial base, I'm optimistic about the Army's efforts to update production technology and facilities. With improved production lines boasting flexibility and advanced manufacturing, the OIB will be better positioned for production surges. We must ensure that the billions of dollars we have invested are appropriately spent across facilities. The modernization of energetics is another key issue within the organic industrial base. Novel energetics can and will increase lethality and range for ordnance, propulsion, and weapon systems, giving the warfighter a greater edge in future fights and ensuring that our technology remains bound in technology that puts us ahead of our adversaries. Through industry and academic institutions, we are currently developing improved energetic materials. The department is still primarily using the same energetic materials from World War II. The historic lack of central management and strategy across the services has delayed the progress of novel energetic integration into weapon systems. I am pleased that finally, after last year's hearing, the Joint Energetic Transition Office has been established 2 years after it was enabled in the National Defense Authorization Act. This office will be a key to creating central leadership and advancing energetic innovation and integration, allowing us to catch up with our adversaries both in range and lethality. And I'm looking forward to seeing the work they do across the organic industrial base. Today's hearing will explore the many challenges the organic industrial base encounters, including access to a domestic supply chain, antiquated manufacturing processes, and fluctuating requirements. We will also explore the Army's efforts to scale munition production capacity to ensure safety standards for service members and civilians working in the production process are met. And we want to make sure we're investing, too, in emerging technologies and new facilities to modernize the organic industrial base. With that, I'd like to introduce our witnesses and then turn to our ranking member. Our witnesses today are the Honorable Brett Ingram, Assistant Secretary of the Army for Acquisition, Sustainment, and Technology, Lieutenant General Chris Mohan, Commanding General, Army Material Command, Major General John Ream, Joint Program Executive Officer, Armaments and Ammunition, and Commanding General of Picatinny Arsenal. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us today, and I turn to my friend and ranking member, Mr. Norcross, for his opening statements.
Thank you, Chairman, and I want to thank the witnesses for their time today. Look forward to this discussion. Chairman Whitman Bergman, thank you for holding this joint hearing on such an important topic, the modernization of Army's portion of our organic industrial base. Our ammunition plants, arsenals, and depots play a critical role in providing capability and capacity to meet the requirements of the combatant commanders. These facilities develop and produce the ammunitions, the munitions, and weapons that our warfighters rely on. And they repair, overhaul our combat systems. Our country could not sustain a large-scale combat operations without the support of these facilities. So very glad that we're spending today on this issue and certainly looking forward to your comments. But over the last few years, this committee, the Tactical Air and Land Forces, we paid particularly close attention to sustaining the modernization of the Army organic industrial base. Anyone who has visited any of these depots, which Rob and I had, it's a time machine.
Yeah.
For many of them, it feels like we landed in a different century. So some of their spaces are certainly need repair, upgrades, and safety improvements, and we have a plan. It's how quickly can we get it done. So for those Americans who work in these facilities, We need to provide the best equipment, a safe work environment, because what we've seen improvements over the years, we can continue to see accidents. I acknowledge that some of this work is absolutely dangerous work, but we can and must do better. I know we will discuss the investments the Army has made to increase capacity and the capabilities of our facilities, but I'd like to hear about investments and procedural changes that the Army has made to improve safety at these facilities and drive down mishaps. I recognize the topic is squarely in the lane of our friends from the Readiness Committee, but it is a topic that I paid close attention to, and I cannot think of a better forum than this to discuss it. Second, the modernization and expansion. The war in Ukraine helped us identify shortfalls in our organic munition production facilities. In many ways, this is our own fault by historically using munition accounts as bill payers for other high-priority accounts. But over the last few years, the Department and Congress have worked collaboratively to reverse the course, resulting in $1 billion of investment into our ammunition and production facilities. In some cases, these investments resulted in modernization to existing facilities. In others, we've expanded the organic industrial base by creating entirely new facilities. In a perfect world, these two types of investment would not compete with each other. However, the Army is now forecasting that we may not realize the full expanded capacity, and that instead settle for a lower sustainment rate. This creates a problem, especially with the 155 artillery rounds. We're building a new facility in Mesquite, Texas, yet short of a large-scale war, high demand from foreign partners and allies will likely never achieve the production rates that would utilize this capacity. So I ask the witnesses to address the problem in such a way that it doesn't pull work away from our existing facilities. I'll ask the witnesses today to address this concern for a coherent plan for those facilities and show that we will optimally utilize that we don't compete with each other. Lastly, I remain concerned that ourselves into a boom-bust cycle. Those sine waves that we've talked so many times before. Billions of dollars of investments over the last few years are helpful, but it added capacity, and then it would be wasted if the demand never materializes. Those sustained conflict or external demand through foreign material sales. I return to the 155 to talk about these shells, since it's such a good example. The department initially planned 100,000 rounds per month. Now forecasts a much lower rate. We modernized and expanded the base to achieve that high number. And in some cases, our industry partners made internal investments to help. If we never realize this capacity, that all happens to our investments, both private and public. What happens to the facilities and the companies that hired additional workers to achieve these goals? We need to find out the sustaining rate, what will be the production we're looking for. In closing, this hearing focuses on an extremely important topic. Very much look forward to discussion and like to again thank Chairman Whitman and Bergman for holding this committee hearing.
I thank the gentleman from New Jersey, our ranking member, Mr. Norcross, and now turn to the gentleman from Michigan, the chairman of the Readiness Subcommittee, Chairman Bergman.
Thank you, Chairman Whitman. I appreciate you for recognizing me for this, and particularly pleased to be working with you, Ranking Member Garamendi, Ranking Member Norcross, on discussing Army's organic industrial base. The organic industrial base is the heart of our Army's ability to generate combat power, and any inadequacies in the industrial base directly impact the mission-capable rates of our ground forces. Unfortunately, Army's readiness trends over the last decade